right, 7:48, 1 minute, and 0.1 mile, or 4 miles, sorry, 0.4 miles. All right. Next one's 7:57, 4 minutes, 1.1 mile. All right, looks like that actually moves, so it doesn't just change colors, but it has like some kind of device in there that makes it move around. And he says something, in the last trip to Tulsa, there was an arrow in his nose and an Indian in the corner trying on my clothes. Everything in a song is over our intellect, so we don't really know what we're saying, but it all can be analyzed and people can write papers on it. All right, next one's 8:27, 8 minutes, 3.4 miles in 7 minutes. Gotta freaking call me every 5 seconds like he's in love with his pizza. He says, well, it's not that complex. So I'm asking him about the buildings. He says, take the first right. That's not the first right, it's the second right. The first right is right up there. That's the first right. So he doesn't know a good direction, and freaking calling me every 5 seconds for the freaking pizza. Where's my pizza? Well, where's my pizza? The first right after the gate is right here. The second right after the gate. That makes a big difference. There's like no thank you, and you know, just like real mean looking. He had some kind of problem. The guy should be eating is like a cracker and a piece of cheese. What I always say is that a lot of obese people, you know, they get kind of upset if their food doesn't get to them quick enough, because, well, they're worried about not getting more obese quicker. Looks like they've got some mini golf going on in Rockwood. That's a graveyard called Greenwood. We just passed a dead black cat right on the side of the road right there, right past there, about 100 yards back. Got hit by one of these cars. All right, 10:05, 8 minutes, 3.1 mile. In the long run, when all said is done, or however it's, I don't know how you say it, but anyway, in the long run, it doesn't really matter, you know, when it comes to filmmaking or writing. It's all subjective. If you just want to document things and twist the truth, that's fine. But it, you know, it doesn't matter at all. It's all subjective. You never know. But if you don't do it, then it's not done. That's a fact of life when it comes to all artists. If you simply just think about the drawing in your own head and it's never done, then no one can see it. Or whatever it is you're trying to do. You know, it could be a video log or a film. It doesn't really matter in the long run, because all art is subjective and it all has its own time and place. So if you call yourself an artist, you have to show at least one painting. If you're a writer, you have to write at least one word or more. It could be 1,000,000 words. And if you're a filmmaker, you have to at least do one vlog or 14,000. And if you're a filmmaker, you have to at least try to do one film to a certain degree, have a beginning, a middle, and somewhat of an end. You don't even have to have the end, really, to be honest. I think some of the stuff that don't have any endings are actually cool. It's a technique, because that's how life is. So we're back at the hospital. That's the garage that we're going into. There's the proof that I'm there, as long as you know I'm in Fort Worth. I gotta find out where to go, too. I gotta make some phone calls. Alright. So that Baylor's, there it goes. Physician of the month. A good sandwich place. This is gonna be a lot of research. So I was born in All Saints. All right, as a behavioral health person, really, I think they should. Really, behavioral health has to do with physical. I mean, if you're starved way too much, you'll go freaking crazy. It's a fact of life. You gotta have nutrition, have proper behavioral health. If you look at an addict, they lack nutrition. If you look at an alcoholic, they lack nutrition. Or someone, like an artist, sometimes they'll kind of starve themselves. And basically, I'm a big believer that mental health is connected to physical health. Also, I'm a believer that if you don't have proper nutrition, then you can have behavioral problems. It's directly related to nutrition. There should be a more related to nutrition, but the government and private sector makes tons of money off the pharmaceutical. So they'll say, yeah, give them this, give them that, when really they're just making money off of them. It's nutrition. You give them proper nutrition, they'll be sane. 100% sure. So I was born at All Saints Hospital in 1973 in the summertime. This very hospital. This is the parking garage to All Saints. And my mother told me back then in the 70s to dull the pain of the biblical pain of birth. They gave them ether. So I don't know if that's what they did in the 70s or not. That calmed them down or knocked them out so they wouldn't feel the pain. Nowadays it's a little different. They give them an epidural where they feel really nothing but pressure. They still feel the pressure of what's going on. So I've talked to my ex-wife about it. She said she felt the pressure, either of life coming into earth or life, being born, or just the pressure, the water pressure and all that stuff was still there. They could still feel that. They can knock out the pain. A lot of them do, a lot of them don't, because it's risky either way. A lot of times it relaxes them and helps them dilate so they can pass it through. Pass the child without being too restricted. But on natural childbirth, that takes a lot of focus because they feel quite a bit of pain. So, of course, without the epidural, they're going to scream out pretty loud. It's going to be a terrible pain. And some feel it's the worst pain that a person can feel. So, but I'm not for sure, you know, because we don't really feel it. We just witness it. It's just the way God's designed everything, you know. He didn't design men to feel labor pains. That was designed for women only. So they get the, you know, they get to do that. That's just something they have to go through. But yeah, I you know, didn't really, you know, it's like when I witnessed childbirth 3 times, I was really thinking about her pain as much as the end result of the child. You know, my thoughts were on the child. But I knew that she probably felt quite a bit of pain because, you know, I was holding her hand as she was pushing, and but I was still concerned with the result. Like, ultimately, is the child a boy or a girl? And the first time, of course, it was a boy. It was my son David. So it was kind of like I wanted to make sure that was the case, because now we had a male heir. I was very excited about that, and so the pain kind of goes away, you know, even though you know there's a lot of pain involved. Now, of course, what I've heard, and I don't know if this is true, but with female babies, they're not as painful as the boys. So the second one, you know, there was still an epidural given, so she came quite quickly, or quicker than the boy, because that's usually the case. And then the third one, she came very quickly. So it was like, okay. And I was like, wow. I never seen a baby be born as fast as Gwendolyn. When Gwendolyn was born, that was the third baby. I was like, that baby came out pretty quick. And they just pull the baby right out. Then the baby takes a little breath and then begins to cry. Now, they all 3 had different personalities coming out. David, his eyes opened first, and then he cried. With Elizabeth, her tongue came out of her mouth first, as if she was tasting something in the air. And Lizzie likes to eat. And then third is Gwendolyn. She kind of looked like she had a little smile on her face when she came out. It looked like she was smiling. All right, another night of delivery. Here's a little circle, little spiral passage road back to the highway. We're gonna head back to see Linda and Kitty. There's Kitty. Got you some cat food, didn't I? You okay, sweetie?
Andre,
I got him some cat food.
how'd you get that?
Well, I had to get it somewhere. I got it at QT for $1.83. Did you get him any cat food? Did you get him any? All right. Okay. All right, kitty. Looks like we got it. Yes, we did. We got it right here, QT. It's been a long time. You're going through cat food withdrawals, aren't you? Aren't you, kitty kitty? Yeah, I got it at QT. I'm checking the date. I don't see why they would have a date issue. Here. Got one of these for me. Those are a good one. And here we go, kitty. Gonna break that fast that you got with your withdrawing from cat food, wet cat food withdrawals. There we go. Really gross stuff too. And he likes that. He likes the cheap stuff. He likes the cheap stuff, don't you, kitty? Where'd he go? Kitty? Oh, there he is. He's getting ready. All right. We're not going to do a cat commercial on this one because they're not... It's not really good for them because it has cornmeal in it or something. I don't know. Linda knows. It has something in it. Some kind of device. There's something in it. I know, kitty. I know you're hungry. All right, let's see. Here we go, kitty. All right, give me 1 second. Oh, he jumped up for it. Look at that. Let's switch it around.